Welcome to all my travelers out there. I am your host, Darren Beckett, and this is the Global Travel Podcast. For those who do not know my travel resume, I've been to 13 states, 15 countries on 5 different continents, but it is not about me. Here, we are giving you quality travel tips, insights, and recommendations on all the best destinations for ideas to enjoy your vacations. With that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. We are all clear for takeoff. Before we reach our destination, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, click the bell, and if you can do me a favor, if you can go in the comment section below, type in the words, "I got my ticket." At the end of the show, I'm going to come back. I'm going to respond to see how your experience went with us. All right. So with that being said, on today's episode, we are taking a trip to Mauritius. So make sure you got your passport, your earphones, and something to snack on. We have a very, very special guest here with us today. But before I introduce him, let me just say this. Now, this gentleman right here has been across the world. And when I say across the world, out of 195 countries, he's been to 108. So if Mauritius is on your list or any other countries for that matter, you definitely want to pay attention. We have something special for you, and he's going to give you a lot of good insight on travel tips and how to travel. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Mr. Ronnie Dunstan. What's going on with you, brother?
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thank you for showing up and showing love. I appreciate it. Much appreciated. So if before we get into the travel, before we hit on this, this flight and get out of here, if you can share a little bit about who you are, what you do, where you live, all that good stuff, hobbies, X, Y, and Z.
Okay. So again, as you stated, my name is Ronnie Dunstan. I think the biggest hobby for me is definitely travel, clearly. So, I love traveling. I love just different cultures and just seeing the world. I'm from Jersey, but I currently live in Maryland. My wife and I moved down here maybe about 7 years ago, just about 7 years ago. We both full-time workers, full-time job. I'm not a blogger. I'm not a podcast or anything of that nature. A lot of people always text us, "What do you do? How do you travel so much?" We just pretty much wanted to see the world, and I had to figure out ways. What I do now is I do training. I'm a IT trainer. I do a lot of software engineer training for the government. I just pretty much took my niche and created something called the Tricks of Travel and started just teaching people. After we hit 100 countries, people kept asking us questions. And here I am. I started, giving some insight and some information that wherever I could, and end up creating a platform and a course for it. So that's just in a nutshell who I am. I love to travel. We just had a baby girl. My baby girl just turned 1 2 days ago. Her second country.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yep.
she's a little pride and joy right there.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So, we have a lot of questions. 108 countries. We have a lot of questions, probably 108 questions. So let's see if we can get all of them in this podcast, or at least as many as we possibly can. So now let's talk about get bit by the travel bug, or how was that experience for you?
You kind of went in now. You said the travel bug? How to get into travel?
Yeah. How you did? So what was like your first trip? Like,
kind of froze up on it.
I was frozen right now? It's frozen?
Now. It sounded like you said, how did I get bit by the travel bug?
Okay. Yeah. So I know we all get bit by the travel bug, so to speak. So what was that story? What was your first place? How did you get introduced to travel?
So I'm an Army brat. My father was in the military. He was in the Army, and we pretty much traveled domestically, and then we did live in Germany. So we had an opportunity to live in Germany, and I just just the taste of seeing a different culture, different people. My dad was fluent in German, which was crazy. So just for me, I knew it was more to the world. And as I got older, I'm in fraternity, so I'm Kappa Alpha Psi. So when I went to Seton Hall, and I did the travel like anybody else, Mexico and the Caribbean for spring break. So that was kind of like my thing of travel at the point. It was like I would catch any deal that was out there, and a lot of deals, again, it was the Caribbean. So my wife wasn't my wife then. She was actually my girlfriend and then turned to fiance and so forth. She suggests, she's like, you know what? You ever thought about like going beyond the Caribbean or Mexico? And I was like, well, yeah, you know, if it's the deal, because I know travel is expensive. And her and I started, I think she's been around. We've been around since 2007. But it wasn't until like 2013 that we was like, you know what? Let's start repeating countries. And I was like, well, how many countries are there? And I looked it up and it was 195. And I said, well, you know what? And I just said, it's funny, before Drake's song came out, I was like, well, let's go to 100 countries. Let's go to at least a half of them. And, you know, when his song came out, I was like my theme song, 0 to 100 real quick. And that was it. We just pretty much said, you know what? I just want to see more of the world. I want to get beyond, and I'm not knocking anybody who goes to Caribbean or Mexico. A lot of times, there's people that don't even travel. So when they do travel, whether it's Mexico or the Caribbean, that's great because you're expanding your horizon. But for us, it was just beyond. We wanted to go beyond that. I wanted to hit, the continent of Africa. I wanted to see there's 54 countries there. I wanted to see at least half, if not all of them.
Right.
So for me, it was just broadening my horizons and just different cultures and different people and just trying to see the different sites that are out there. 7 Wonders of the World. Check all those off. For me, it was, if it's a bucket list, a lot of times people create bucket lists and then they don't accomplish it. I'm like, dude, that's a wish list. That's not a bucket list. A bucket list is something to check off. So when I create a bucket list, we check them off. So right now, we don't have anything on our bucket list other than Antarctica, because the last continent we haven't visited just yet.
Nice. Now I like that. I like that a lot. So I didn't mention, I mean, you've been to 32 states. So, I mean, we got at least, let's hit this flight. Let's get to a state real quick. So what is the first state that you recommend folks to go to?
So I'm all into, it depends on what you want to do. If you're, I'm a thrill seeker. I love rocks and mountains and architecture. Then I just like skydiving, all sorts of crazy stuff. So for me, I would say if somebody gave me an option, I would go to the West Coast. I'm from the East Coast. So I would go to where it's warm. I would probably go to Arizona. I would probably go to Arizona purely to see the Grand Canyon. You have Antelope Canyon, both the upper and the lower. You have so many different rock formations in Arizona alone that is just crazy. And then, it's very, very nice weather. You go when it's winter on the East Coast, like right now, December, January, there is nice. You're talking like 75, 80 degrees, real nice weather. I would go to Arizona if you're into like, again, like rock formations or just a mass body of just the colors and the formation and the way it looks during sunset is crazy. And it is great to skydive in Arizona as well. I have not yet, but the first time I skydived was actually in Dubai. But Arizona is very dry, cool weather, perfect place to skydive. So I would definitely do that going back. Arizona would be, I would say, a great spot where you can just explore. And then if I had to pick a second state, I'm probably going with Cali. I know I'm from Jersey, but I'm going with Cali because I love LA.
Yeah.
LA, man, boy, I love LA.
Yeah.
LA is like a third home. People think it's my second. My second was actually Atlanta. So
Okay.
Atlanta was like my second home, but LA is definitely the city of a lot of glitz and glamour.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun in LA. I would do LA if you're just trying to like ball, enjoy yourself. I went there. I flew out to LA one time just to go for Halloween. They had a Halloween party. My friend was doing it. Man, it was dope. They had the house was up on a hill, and you could see like the skyline of LA. It was bananas. Outdoor pool, infinity pool. It was crazy. But I would definitely go with California second. And for a third, let me think. A third for me, I joke all the time, but it's actually not a state. It's District of Columbia down here. So I'm in Maryland. In DC, what I've learned just driving around DC, they have a lot of spots that I swear, I was actually gonna do this on my Instagram. They have this mosque that looks just like the mosque, the Sophia, what was that called again? Hagia Sophia in Turkey, in Istanbul. They have a mosque that looks just like the Blue Mosque. They have spots in DC that they have like this little Italy-looking spot. They have little Greece, little Turkey. I'm like, damn, I was driving one time. I could take a picture and I'll post on Instagram like, can you guess where I'm at? and people would swear I was
Uh,
in Turkey. People would swear I was in Italy. And I'm like, nah, I'm in DC.
yeah.
So DC for just the
Yeah.
architecture and just in general, it's like a potluck. It's pretty cool, like to do a little tour of DC. You know, some history in there as
Mhm.
well. But I would actually choose DC. I enjoy DC, even though it's not a state, but District of Columbia, come to Maryland and cross over. You can also just a DMV is what they call it, DC, Maryland, Virginia. You can pretty much see
Mhm.
all three as well. So I would probably go with the
Okay.
DMV, and then if I had a fourth,
Okay.
I'm gonna go with New York.
New York. Okay. Oh, of course. So let me ask you this. Okay, so you've been to a lot of states, of course, 32. So what is your top three food cities that you would recommend?
Food.
Food.
Ooh, not too much of a foodie, but I like a good steak, and I like so Chicago, the deep dish pizza. I'm gonna go with Chicago
Mm-hmm.
deep dish pizza. I'm actually gonna go. It's again not a state, but they have a big uh, Ethiopian Eritrean community here in the D.C. Maryland, D.C. actually Virginia area. It's not too much, because Virginia and D.C.
Mm-hmm.
area. D.C. has a potluck, has a lot. D.C. actually D.C., Philly, and New York. Those would be and Chicago, the major big cities, because they have a potluck of culture. They have what they call like restaurant week in New York,
Mm-hmm.
DC, and Philadelphia. The restaurant week is bananas. I definitely, because you get the taste of just about everything, and it's just a potluck,
Right.
especially in New York. Potluck is like a melting pot of just different people, different cultures from everywhere. So I would definitely go with
Okay.
them, just because depending on what your taste is, you're gonna get a little bit of everything. So
Right,
Philly,
right,
DC, and
right.
New York for sure.
So okay. So you said you say you like the rocks and the mountains and the nature, right? Is that correct?
That's
So
correct.
what are your top three states or cities that you would recommend to go hiking or camping or have outdoor activities?
Got you. Arizona, Utah, and I would say Vermont. Vermont is good if you like zip lining and people like skiing. Oh no. I take that back. Vermont's number four. Colorado. I totally forgot. Colorado. So Utah, Arizona, and Colorado.
Okay, cool. So now what about, so I know you've been to some tropical areas. So what are your top three best like tropical beach areas to go to?
We talking world or you talking international?
World. We talking about world now. Yeah,
Oh,
we're talking about world now. We're going
off,
international.
off the bat, first of all, I love the South Pacific. That's one part. So in the South Pacific, I would say beach wise, I'm gonna go with Australia has a very nice beach. Um, Maldives has one of the clearest water. It's not in the South Pacific. It's actually
Mm-hmm.
so, but Maldives, um, Australia out in South Pacific area, Maldives, and all the French Polynesian islands. So Bora Bora,
Mm-hmm.
Tahiti, and Moer. So I would
Okay.
definitely go with those as well. It's very crystal clear water, especially
Yeah.
Tahiti and Maldives. Tahiti, we went for my honeymoon. Maldives, we went for our second anniversary, and
Mm-hmm.
we've been to Australia a couple times actually. So, but Australia,
Okay.
nice. Fiji's a good one as well.
Okay. So what type of traveler are you? Are you more of a solo travel? It sounds like family, but family traveler, budget traveler, or luxury?
I'm
What type?
I,
What do
I'm
you?
I'm a ball on a budget. I like the broke ball. So for me, traveling is expensive. A lot of people, and that's especially for our culture, we don't know. It's unknown. So sometimes we think like, it's too much. You gotta drop like 5K. And I went to the Maldives for like 3K, and I didn't even pay for the flight or the hotel. I had an overwater
Mm-hmm.
bungalow. So for me, it's all
Mm-hmm.
about working the system. I'm from Jersey, so I like I gotta hustle the system. For me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a thrill seeker. But then my wife, she's into she's into culture. I'm into architecture, and again, like I said, any type of thrill. So like I'm jumping off of buildings in New Zealand. I got my head took me 30 minutes, but I talked my wife into doing it as well. She did it as well. So I'm a thrill seeker. So we pretty much split when we do our travel. Most of my travel, all 108 countries. Again, some countries that we had, like I've been in Mexico on my own, but my wife and I, we pretty much made sure we repeated everything that we have done separately. So we did it together. So all 108 countries we actually traveled to together. So for me,
Wow.
I'm not too much of a solo traveler.
Right.
I love having my wife as a companion. We both have the same like mindset when it comes to travel. And sometimes you just can't get along with everybody.
Right.
And then if I'm not traveling with my wife, a lot of times, it's either one of my frat brothers, Jay, or my Sans, Jamil. I'll travel with my frat brothers, but for the most part, it's been my wife. I haven't done too much. I mean, the most solo travel I have done is when I was once working for the FAA. I used to travel domestically. That's why I've been to 32 states. Is I would travel for work, and at the same time, I would make it, into a trip. Like, and for the
Gotcha.
most part, I'm a couple travel. Now it's going to be family because I have a daughter.
Right, right. Now that you have a daughter, any tips that you can give those folks who are family and traveling with little ones?
Yeah, so a few, I got a couple actually, but I'll just give you at least one or two. One tip I do tell everybody, and people don't know this, is if you have a child, two, three children, whatever the case may be, you should sign them up for a free airline membership. A lot of people don't know that you can do this because they think you have to be over 18. No, a lot of times if you can't do it online, you just call. So you call Delta, you call United, you call American Airlines, you can sign them up for the free membership so they can earn miles. What people don't know is now when I travel with my daughter named Nubia, when we travel with her, she's earning miles every time we fly somewhere. So by the time she's 18, she'll have like a free trip, if not more, in just accumulated miles. So the first tip I tell people is sign up for every free membership there is. It's free. Why not? You never know when you're going to go on an airline. A lot of airlines now are doing the miles are not expiring. Delta has always been like that. Delta and JetBlue have always, their miles never expired, but I believe United and AA are finally stepping up too. That's one tip. Two tip, now that we're in the pandemic, I know some people are like, oh, I'm not flying. I was one of those people. We hadn't flown anywhere. Our last country, 108, was Cyprus last September for my birthday. And
Hmm.
then this September was the first time we went somewhere, and it was my daughter's first country, which is Aruba. In that time of flying, Delta, JetBlue, and I think Southwest, they all block the middle seat. Now, some people are like, middle seat, that's it's still not 6 feet, you know what I mean, as far as being away from somebody during the pandemic. Well, number one,
Right.
everybody, those three airlines I just described, Delta, JetBlue, Delta, and Southwest, they all block the middle seat and require masks. Blocking of that middle seat, here's the key when you're flying with kids, especially if they're under 2 and you're not paying. When they're under
Hmm.
2 and you're not paying for them, well, now that middle seat, we bring our car seat on and put it in a seat. So now we don't have to worry about strapping our daughter in. She has her own seat. That's a part of, and it's always good to have a car seat, stroller, and one. So you just break it
Hmm.
down. You give them the stroller part. They check it for free. You don't have to pay for it. The car seat we bring on board and we put it. Now they won't let you put it in the middle. You have to put it on the window seat. But that's fine. The other good part about having a middle seat block right now is I know it's a pandemic and we're not 6 feet away, but I don't have some random in the third
Hmm.
seat with us.
Right.
Now we can put our
Right.
daughter in that seat. Bring the
Right.
car seat on board. A lot of people don't know or think to bring their car seat on board. It's a free seat, especially
Hmm.
if your child is under 2, travel free. So definitely sign up
Hmm.
for memberships for your child, and get that car seat. Bring the car seat on board if you have a young child.
Yep, yep. Hopefully y'all taking notes and paying attention. I mean, 108 countries, he knows something, so you better make sure you are paying
A lot of
attention.
trips. A lot of trips.
Yeah, yeah. And then if you guys want some more information and go into deep into details, he has a website that I'm going to put on the screen or in the description so you guys can get access to him. He teaches it. So if you want to get the course, he got the course and all that information is on the website that I'll post up. So yeah, if y'all want some more information on, I mean, 108 countries, that's all I got to say. So definitely, we'll definitely set that up, get y'all access to him. So, all right, cool. So we've been on this flight. We touched a couple different states. Now let's go international. We have a little
Okay.
ways before we hit Mauritius. So let's you the pilot. I'm co-pilot. So what country do you recommend folks to go to?
Okay. So, oh man, it all depends. So I'm gonna go with two. First country for people who are on a budget or they think so, and you got to be able to willing to travel a little further. A lot of people like, I can't fly more than 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, dude, you're not even flying to LA from the west from the East Coast. You can't fly more than 4 hours. So
Right.
I would choose for people where you're gonna get the biggest bang for your buck. I'm going to Thailand. Thailand is so their money is called baht.
Mm-hmm.
BAHT. Bot, it is 30 to 1. 30 of their bot is $1 of ours. And their prices aren't jacked up unless you're like in a tourist area. So
Mm-hmm.
Phuket and Bangkok, I'm gonna tell you right now, man, you ballin'. You go there with $1,000 and you like a king or a queen.
Yep.
But I would
Yep.
definitely suggest Thailand. A lot of times I know people they think it's called Phuket, but it's called Phuket. Phuket looks like
Mm-hmm.
it's fucking, but it's not. It's creation. People joke about it all the time. It's actually called Phuket. They have an island, the James Bond Islands. A lot of spots in Thailand. And ironically, Bangkok is the city, but Phuket is actually the party. Like where the beach is, that's where the party is at. So I would
Mm-hmm.
definitely recommend people to check out Thailand. It'll give you a great travel bug. You'll get bit with that travel bug if you travel to Thailand, especially with the amount of money that you will save and you can just again you can bring $1,000 and that's it. You doing
Right.
it. Now it's about
Right.
I think it's about from the East Coast about 10 to 12 hours to get there. So you got to be willing to travel a little bit. I would definitely go with
Mm-hmm.
Thailand. Then if I flew a little further, I love and I'm going back there. I'm going back actually both UAE, Dubai, and Maldives. Dubai
Mm-hmm.
Dubai, man. It's nothing like Dubai. Dubai does it big. A lot of people think because it's they have cheeks and they have the money, the skyscrapers, they money galore out of Dubai. In the city
Mm-hmm.
Dubai out of UAE. The thing about Dubai that I love is you could do they got everything. They got indoor skiing, they got skydiving, they got dinner in the sky. They have so many. And the other thing a lot of people don't know, especially if you work in the points and miles system, they have
Right.
hotels, Hilton, nice hotels. But the Conrad, 30,000 points a night. 30,000, bro. That's for a Conrad. And the reason
Right.
why is
Right.
because they have like, I think it's 23 Hiltons and maybe like 20 Marriotts. There's so many hotels that they're competing that you can go there on some points and miles. Look, I'm gonna tell you right
Right.
now, you can
Right.
ball. You can save
Yeah.
that money on that flight in that hotel and, and,
Yep.
and rack up. But there's a lot of things to do there. Now the Maldives, I would suggest everybody do at least once in their lifetime. Now the thing about the Maldives is not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter. Listen, I went
I
there for my
heard.
second anniversary. Flight was free. Just paid the taxes. The flight normally is like $1,200 each. We paid like $135 in taxes each. And we
Mm-hmm.
stayed in an overwater bungalow. And I would recommend an overwater
Mm-hmm.
bungalow. Now don't try to break the bank or even your points if you do the points mile system. Go ahead and split it up. If you do a week in Maldives, which I think is actually a little too long because it's like a private island. But if you do at least, let's say 5 days, because you get the fifth night free if you use your points, you don't have to
Mm-hmm.
do all 5 days in overwater bungalow because it's a little more. Do like 2 nights in a standard nice garden bungalow, then 3 nights in overwater, so you can kind of split it up. But the overwater experience is bananas.
Mm-hmm.
That type of luxury, and you
Yep.
don't want to go there. Don't go there solo. You gotta bring it. If
Right.
you're male, you gotta bring your girl or your wife,
Yep.
or fiance. That's that spot,
Mm-hmm.
fellas. You want to seal the deal with a woman? That's where you go. You go to the Maldives, bro. I'm gonna tell you that right now. We're actually going
Yeah.
back for our seventh anniversary. Taking my wife and I are we're going to Dubai actually for 5 days first, and then it's a 12-hour nonstop on Emirates Airlines. We're doing a nonstop from there. We're going to do. We accumulated a lot of points because I've been teaching people this on my little group. Is that we're paying? I think it's 470,000 for both of us. We're doing that apartment in the sky in Emirates Airlines. And I'm gonna do a
Wow.
whole video and everything just to show people. So we're doing that. We're doing it big for our seventh. But Maldives is one of those do overwater bungalow if you can. Is one of those like dream spots that people want to go to. Going there
Right.
twice. So,
Right, right. So if you guys haven't been to the Maldives yet, you definitely want to save your coins, save up. I mean, it's one of those places you don't need to stay too long, but just long enough, maybe 5 days or what have you. Enjoy it. It sounds like that's more of a romantic type of trip. So
yeah.
if you have a special someone, a significant other, then the Maldives may be the place for you. And now, okay, so we've been to a couple places. I mean, it's a list of them. So let's keep flying, man. I'm ready to keep going wherever you're going. You the pilot. You keep taking us wherever you want to go. Recommend whatever you want to recommend.
A couple other places. I was pleasantly surprised by Ireland. Ireland was my 99th country.
Mm-hmm.
Ireland is nice. We went to Dublin. Dublin is one of those spots. And we're a Game of Thrones fans as well, so we did the Game of Thrones tour there. Ireland is one of those you'll be pleasantly surprised. They got a whole. It's crazy because Obama at the time was president. They have Obama has like a part Irish in him. They had this whole the rest stops that you have when you're driving. This whole rest stop in honor of Obama. I was like, whoa! It was big. Yeah. And the crazy part is, so in Dublin, in Southern Ireland, it's not a lot of Black people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, the difference is, some places you go in and like stare at you, whatever. They're like, hey, they want to hang out. They want to like chop it up quick. I'm like, wow. Yeah, Ireland is one of those little diamond in the rough that people don't know about. I would definitely hit up Ireland.
Yeah, definitely a sleeper. Very green. I was in Dublin and Cork myself. I didn't get a chance to explore the entire Ireland because I wasn't there for too long. But yeah, what I saw and what I seen, it was definitely worth going to. I definitely
like, yo, yeah, I'm telling you right now.
It's a sleeper. Yeah, it is a sleeper.
I'm about to go to Ireland. Cassie looking at me like, what? I'm like, trust me. I'm telling you right now, it's a good look. Northern Ireland is not Northern Ireland is, they have more. It's funny because they have more Black people up in Northern Ireland, but it's not technically a country because the British UK actually owns it, and it's ironic because then you have where more Black people are, you have more racism up there. It's crazy, but Southern Ireland is quick to tell you, nah, that's not Ireland. Right. It's Ireland and South, and it's not technically because it's owned by the UK, but Southern Ireland, Dublin area. Yeah, you'll enjoy yourself, for sure.
Yes. So y'all don't sleep on Ireland. Don't sleep on Ireland, especially if you're a Game of Thrones fan. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, definitely do the tour there. I don't think you'll be disappointed. See all the castles and whatnot going on there. So yeah, definitely don't sleep on Ireland. So now let's go South America. We haven't been to South America yet. I'm assuming you've been to a country in South America. So what country would you recommend in South America to go to?
Hands down, Brazil, bro. Hands down, Brazil. Yeah, hands down. You go to South America, bro, you need to go to Brazil. Brazil, yeah, man. Brazil. Woo. Hey, listen, fellas, if you're single, you go to Brazil. Ladies, if you're single, you go to Brazil. Couples, if you're secure with your relationship, you could go to Brazil. If you're not secure, don't go to Brazil. Great. But Brazil, hands down, I'm going to Brazil all day.
Okay. Well, so what is
I want to see? I didn't get to see the falls there, but Rio is crazy. We went to two parts of Brazil, the mountain area and Rio. But I would definitely go with Brazil for sure. The culture is crazy.
So I know that they have the statue, the Christ, in I believe Rio de Janeiro. Yep. Well, other than that, what else is there that you would recommend to do in Brazil?
So they have their carnival. Carnival is banana. I haven't been yet, but I know a lot of people who have. Their carnival is bananas. They have a lot of shows there. Other than the statue is like, it's a seventh wonder of the world. So of course you want to see it, but it's like small. Right. They got the mountainous areas. You got the beach. The fact that you right that Copacabana right there on that beach area, you see the mountain line is crazy. Like just there. Then the partying, the food is amazing. The people, man, and they're just so the confidence level in the like I make a joke with my wife, like everybody wears thong. Like, people that probably should be wearing a thong is wearing a thong. Like they're not their body, they're free. Like it's just like, whether you're obese, whether you're too skinny, whatever you are, it don't matter to them because they're secure with their body. So everybody's just it's a ball of fun. There's a lot of things to do there. You can do a lot of hiking. They have a lot of mountainous areas. People always think Rio, but I used to drive about 45 minutes up because when we went, We actually stayed in both areas. We stayed up in the mountain area. Some of the I can't actually remember the name. I always eludes me every time I think about it too. But you see, he's that I. But don't let me butcher it now. But it's actually on our website. If you go to roads100countries.com, we actually have videos and pictures and what we did in every single country. So sometimes I go to my own website and remember some of the things I've done. But yeah, you can go there and it shows like the name of the city that we went up to, the mountain area. They have zip lining, they have hiking. It's everything. And there skydiving.
Yeah.
I know what one I love is paragliding is and parasailing, ground and gliding is like one of the big things you can do in the mountains area. Definitely one of those. Two spots.
Yeah, that's on my bucket list. The paragliding, that's the one you jump off the mountain and you got the little paper airplane. It ain't paper airplane, but you know, like that's on my bucket list. So yeah, go ahead. It's fun because
what? You should definitely try that. You should for sure. You'll enjoy it. I think the first time I did it was in Peru or Colombia. It might have been Colombia.
Okay. Oh, and I'm assuming you've been bungee jumping too before?
So ironically, I haven't. But when I do go, I'm trying to do it in Zambia. Trying to do bungee jumping in Zambia. They have a nice bridge and over there because we want to go see the falls and everything. I've been skydiving, but not bungee jumping.
I could have. I was like, I know he did bungee jumping. He been skydiving, so
you got to do that right spot. But so far from me, because I want to go see the Devil's Pool, where you sit on the edge of the waterfall. Crazy, like we talking. I want to see that, and then I want to do the bungee jumping as well.
And you said that's in Zimbabwe, where you can see that?
Zambia.
Okay. So let's go ahead and go to Zambia. We in Zambia, let's hit another country.
I haven't been.
Oh, okay.
That's not a bucket list. It's a checklist. Coming to that. Actually, I would have been there this year, but COVID hit. We actually were planning to go to the Devil's Pool, Zambia. When we went to Namibia, you can actually like a quick flight over. We could have went to Zambia from Namibia.
Okay, cool. So yeah, let's hit a country. We did South America, we did Asia, Europe. Let's go to Africa. Let's do a country in Africa before we, what you recommend there?
So in Africa right now, I've only been out of 54. I've been to 9. Of the 9, I would definitely recommend South Africa, Namibia, and Kenya. Those are my 3 that I would recommend of the 9 so far I've been to. There's Ghana and a couple other ones that I want to go to. I haven't been to yet. Kenya, I love went to the giraffe manor. I did that whole experience, and just the giraffe and the safaris are wonderful. Namibia, the desert, they have this thing called Sosofle. Sosofle, the dead village or dead marsh is what it's called. They have these petrified trees that's coming out of the desert because it used to be water. Now and they're like petrified. So like if you touch it, it'll crumble. So they don't let you touch it anything. And the way it looks is crazy. We went there like early morning and saw the sunrise, and then we saw the sunset. Look, the way the sun hits the dunes, the sand dunes, and the desert was like, man, that was like one of the best experiences. Namibia is definitely one of those. I love landscape again. So I love Namibia. South Africa was dope. They had we went to go see Mandela. Mandela's where he was prisoner, Robben Island, and we didn't get to see Johannesburg. We should have went to Johannesburg. Joburg is another place that everybody will recommend. We went to Cape Town. So we should have did. I would recommend people do Cape Town and Johannesburg, but we only had the fortunate to do Cape Town. But we saw the Big 5 there. So the safaris that they have there. South Africa is cool. It's the 12 Apostle Mountains. Like so, when you go to the beach, you can't get that water. That water is cold.
Okay.
Yeah, on the beach line. Yeah, we talking ice cold. And when you go in December, is their summer. So we went for New Year's. We went to New Year's in South Africa. It was one of my wife's favorites. Table Mountain's another one. Table Mountain is dope. We have a picture online. It looks like we're in the middle of we just in the sky. It's crazy.
Right. Right.
The clouds,
Wow.
it's so high up, the clouds is like right there.
Yeah, man. I hear the safaris is one of the things you definitely, it's like a must do. It's a
Yeah.
must do when you get to Africa and South Africa. And I hear that of course you have to, keep your arms and legs into the vehicle at all times. Of course, and you have your tour guides. And I even seen some folks on Instagram. I don't know where they were at, but they was actually walking out with the lions. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
that's ill, right? That's
Zambia
crazy.
is one of them. They do it in Zambia. We did that. We actually did it in Mauritius. We walk with the lions, and but I'm not everywhere in Africa, but there are a lot of places in the continent of Africa where different countries have that. I know Zambia has one. Zambia and Mauritius had it. I don't think Kenya. I don't remember Kenya, but
Hmm.
they do. Yeah, they do have that experience. Yeah.
Okay, cool. But you know what? I lied. Let's go to another continent real quick before we hit my. I lied. We detouring right now. So let's hit Australia. We didn't hit Australia quite yet. So, what are some things that you would recommend Australia? Some of the things you'll do, see, and all that good stuff.
So Australia is one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites. One of my homeboys, Dwayne Jordan, he actually played ball at Seton Hall, and he went off to play for Australia and never came home. He had a wife there now and everything. So Australia, we've been twice or three times. I want to say twice. It would have been three times. We went for New Year's every time. New Year's in Sydney. First of all, Australia's like, well, people, if you went to college, Thursday is party night in college. Well, guess what?
Yep.
Thursday is party night in Australia as well. And it ain't going to work on Friday. I'm like, dude, you going to work? Like, it's lit in Australia.
Yeah.
Australia is first of all, the animals are just because they got like the 27 deadliest animals. This is Australia. It's crazy, but you have the koala bear. Yeah, Australia's crazy on that aspect, but just Australia in general is very laid back. Everything is cool, copacetic. Like they have so many different tourist spots, things off the beaten path. So many different things in Australia you can do. Just the kangaroos, just the animals alone, exotic animals. Probably the most exotic animals you're ever going to see are going to be in Australia. So if you like that concept as well, I would definitely do that. They have where you can walk the bridge in Sydney Opera House. We've been to Sydney twice. We actually were going to take our mothers to. We were going to go up to the Great Barrier Reef area, but the Gold Coast along that as well. But COVID hit. So we were supposed to do that. Actually, we were supposed to do that this month. We would have been going for New Year's again, but it would have been Australia up top. But
Wow.
I would definitely Australia. Who's going to go to Cairns? Cairns is northern, more north up of Australia from Sydney. And that's where you can get to the Great Barrier Reef because that's actually dying too. So I wanted to scuba dive in Great Barrier Reef. But Australia is one of those places. It's a long flight.
Yeah.
Coming from the East Coast. The funny part is New Zealand. We went to New Zealand. So the second time we went to Australia, we actually went to New Zealand and then back to Australia for the second New Year. Australia is about a 27-hour flight. And New Zealand is 30 from New York area. We flew from New York. The thing is, it's broken up. People are like, 30 hours. So what it was it's 15 hours to get to Taiwan. Do a longer layover. We did about a 9 to 10 hour layover in Taiwan, and they have a free tour that they let people do. If you have a long layover, it's free. You sign up. We saw Taiwan, and then we came back, and it was another 15 hours from there to New Zealand. So New Zealand is 30 hours away, and Australia is about 27. There's a layover in there, but yeah, it's a long flight. If you're on the East Coast, that's the longest flight you can take. It's pretty much
right. Goodness gracious. Yeah. So make sure y'all ready for that. If you need some sleeping pills.
Don't be wearing no heels on that flight.
Oh, no. You got to dress comfortable.
To keep the swelling out. Compression socks is great. Little tricks.
Yeah, I'm not ready. I don't know if I'm ready for that 30 hour though. I think I still need a little more practice.
Though. 15 and then 15. Just do a long little layover. Don't do that quick hour joint. Now people are like, I want to do it quick. No, don't do that. You want to take at least a 4 or 5 hour layover, stretch it out. If you have, I tell people, some of these travel cards. I got like 15 of them. I tell people like the Hilton Surpass one that gives you the free lounge access. Go to the lounge, man. 3-4 hours, relax. Take the next half, be straight.
Yep, there you go.
A little longer layover now.
Like that. I like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we did a lot of traveling, man. We hit some couple little states, we hit some countries, we hit a lot of different continents as well. So let's go ahead and we in Mauritius now. We just landed. We are off the plane, stretching our legs. We're gonna be here for a while, but we ready to hit the ground running. So now that we are here, finally, Ronnie, what do you recommend here in Mauritius?
So Mauritius has sentimental value to me. Because it was my 40th birthday and our 100th country. So 100th country was actually Mauritius. The first thing you want to do when you get to Mauritius is you definitely want to go see the Seven Colored Mountains. So Seven Colored Mountains, like a tourist spot, but it's a mountain area that has these 7 layers of different colors. It's crazy. You want to go when it doesn't rain. We had one twice because when it rains, it kind of like blends the colors. It's too dark. But if you go when it's sunny and nice, you'll love it. We went. They have so many different things. A small island. Now, Mauritius, a lot of people don't know, is a part of Africa. It's just off the coast of an island, right off the coast of Africa, off the continent of Africa, but it's it's part of Africa. It's unique because it has during the slave trade and during the work, back then, Indians from India used to come down and they would stop in. So it has a large Indian population too in Mauritius. So it's kind of mixed there. African and Indian, and actually Chinese too. Chinese, African, and Indian is like the big 3 in Mauritius. So they kind of throw you off like, wait, are we in Africa or what? But it's pretty cool. Like just in general, like the way they mix the cultures. But Mauritius, 7 Colored Mountains. You could do parasailing there, hang gliding there. They have a lot of temples. So they have 2 types. They have a lot of the Hindu temples and just because it has an Indian descent as well. There, but they have a lot of different sculptures and temples that you can see. Mauritius, they have a what is it called again? Where you can walk with the lions. They had that option as well to see the different exotic animals. Definitely go to the little town that they have, the city, the main city. They have a lot of souvenirs, a lot of shopping. Food is great there. Again, it's like mixing Caribbean with Chinese food and a little bit of hint of Indian food, like all in one. It's bananas. So like you get your roti, you might have a little bit of jerk chicken here. You know what I mean? And then it's bananas. Then you got your General Tso's chicken. Like you just kind of mix it up. It's like, oh, taste buds galore. But if you're a foodie, you'll enjoy Mauritius as well. There's a lot of different things to do. They have the underwater. We did the underwater, like they call it snuba, where you put this thing on and you go underwater. It's not scuba diving because it's a what is that thing? It's a helmet and it has oxygen levels, so you can kind of go through there. We did that. We did parasailing, hang gliding, Venture City. Like they have so many different things there, and just in general to be able to see the island itself. So Mauritius, and the water is clear, it's nice water. It's man, Mauritius is one of those. You want the beach life, you want the adventurous life, you want the sightseeing. It has like all of them you want. I would definitely recommend Mauritius.
Would you say it's more for? Is it like what type of trip is it? Is it a romantic trip, a family trip, a budget trip, an expensive trip?
It's so I see everything for me because I work the points and miles system. It's budget, so I'm always everything is budget. But it's definitely the family, solo, and couples trip. You got all 3 components with Mauritius. That's the crazy part. So you go as a family. You have the different. Taking my daughter, you have the touch sea and with the little amusement park they have like with the animals. They have little rides there. Then for like a solo, if you're like adventurous, you want to do things like that, they have that. But not too much. I won't say if you're a partier, I didn't see too much partying. You have a little bit, but it's not too much of a nightlife. I did not see a nightlife. But you do have the solo options because they have little gatherings and get-togethers on the beach and stuff like that. And then, of course, romantic. The pristine beaches and just the clear water alone. You got that ambiance just being there with your significant other. You have that. You have a lot of like you do dinner on the beach. We did that. So yeah, it's one of those places that has something for just about everybody. I mean,
I like
I
that.
would say other than more, I didn't see too much of the party scene, but
Okay.
I'm not a hard party anymore myself. I don't go to clubs like
Right.
that, so I
Right.
wouldn't know. But I haven't heard anything about it as well. So for some of the solo
Okay.
travelers that I do know have been, but
Okay.
it has a little bit of something. If you're a solo traveler like the sightseeing, then there you go.
Now, what about the language? Do they speak English or do they have a native tongue or what do they
Uh,
speak over there?
well, the native tongue is that everyone speaks English on the island, but that's not the native tongue. I forgot what it's called. But they have a mixture. Remember, because you have Indian, Chinese, and it's African country, but I forgot what they speak there. Mauritian, can't remember what the name is, but Mauritians there, they have a native tongue itself, but then you have Hindu, people speak Hindu there, you have people speak Chinese there. But English across the board, just about everyone speak English. I think it's a second language. So
Oh,
English,
okay.
you'll be fine.
Good.
Yeah, you wouldn't even know they speak other languages until they probably talking to each other for the most part.
Right.
So,
Cool. So we
English,
can get around.
yeah, no like accent or nothing. They just speak English. Like,
Just
hey, where you
English,
from?
huh?
I'm from here. I'm like, oh,
I'm,
okay.
I'm from here. So,
Yeah,
okay, what about for us Americans? Do we need visas? Do we need vaccinations or anything other than the passport?
so Mauritius, you don't need vaccinations. I believe you need a visa. What I do with I can't recall it's happening in countries sometimes when it comes to the visas, but I believe Mauritius you do. Wait a minute, you do not. It's my
Mm,
brother and his wife did. It was his. He just got married, so he made it that trip. He made it their second honeymoon. They
mhm,
actually they didn't need visa because I know my wife and I would have already got it. I don't remember him getting one.
mhm.
So Mauritius, if I'm not mistaken, you don't need a visa. I know there's no vaccinations needed there. Well, now we got COVID, so I don't know about that. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's not needed. Yeah, I don't think it's a visa. And if it is one, it might be on arrival, something cheap, something quick. Um,
Right.
but I recommend to everyone because I don't like to misquote. I tell everybody, straight up. So what I do is I go to travel.state.gov. Travel.state.gov. You can literally plug in any country. It gives you the warning level. This is where we go. We want to, make sure the crime statistics, the warning levels, health conditions, if it needs a visa, if you need a vaccine, everything is on it. So the travel.state.gov, you plug in any country, gives you all the information. And it's not just, you know, America information. You can actually
Mm,
click on it and it takes you, they have websites that's on those sites. It takes you to the country's website too.
mhm,
It's not like,
mhm.
you get all the information because a lot of times, America, we get funneled certain things. We don't see everything in the world, but you can actually go
Right.
to the country's website as well. But
That
travel.state.gov is what I
yeah.
go to find about any of that information.
That
Security as
that
well.
that's good. That's good information. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know that. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's good information right there for myself personally. So I hope y'all paying attention and taking notes. So far as the food specifically, is I know you said the food was good. Is there anything specific or anything crazy that they eat there?
No, they're not that I can recall. It's nothing. They don't have any like Australia that has a lot of different things, delicacies. I don't believe because again there's a mixture. So I know roti was one that's there. They have curry, but there's
Hmm.
nothing that pops out that is unique. I shall I say?
Oh, okay, okay. And what about our
That I remember, that I recall. Shall I say?
r- right? And I don't know if you're a vegetarian now, but do you know of any vegetarian options out there for our vegetarian folks that's
Yeah, they
listening?
do because they have India. There's a lot of vegetarians in the Hindu just religion in general, but yeah, they have all options. My wife at the time, I think she was doing the whole vegan thing, and
Ah,
she had a vision. She back, but she was doing the vegetarian thing at one point when we I think that was that. No, no, I think it was my 40th. Yeah, they do have options. That's actually one
okay.
of her friends we met there from Columbia, went to grad school with. She I so happened to be there. It was crazy.
Hmm.
She was in Mauritius and then she saw us on Instagram and then they ended up coming up to our hotel. It was at the Hilton there and they had dinner with us. That was cool.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of hotel, how was the Hilton? How was the accommodation and everything? How was that for you? Customer service, the cleanliness, and all that good stuff.
They're known for their customer service. That's one thing. is great. But at the Hilton, they upgraded us. We had this honeymoon suite, so it had like the whole living room area. It had a balcony off to see the whole ocean pool area. We had I had the Caribbean bath where you walk around, but it was pretty dope. We always stay at Hilton. We're Diamond, so the highest level with Hilton. So they always upgrade us. Plus, in my tricks of travel, I teach people this email template that I give people to show people how to get free upgrades. So we always get a free upgrade. I mean, they give me upgrades because I'm Diamond too, but like, we almost guarantee I'll probably like betting. I'd say 80%, 80, 85% of all if it's available. But they actually upgraded us and they upgraded my brother. We told them, in the email, I said, hey, my brother's here for his second honeymoon. They hooked him up too. We got the better one. But they hooked him up as well. Yeah.
So what about for the folks who like to shop? Are they known for shopping? Any jewelry, anything like that for those folks who like to
jewelry,
shop?
they do have a little town, like if you go into town, they have shopping there. It's more trinkets. People do souvenirs. They do have jewelry. They have nice, I know they have 24 karat gold there because again, it's a mixture of India, Chinese, and African. So India is known for their gold, so they do have gold there. I wouldn't say it's big shopping. Like, I go, it's not like people are looking for clothes or some luxury like Louis Vuitton, whatever it could be. You're not gonna necessarily get that. But I saw a lot of knockoffs. but they do have shopping. They have little small areas. But I mean, just like any, they flourish off of tourism. You're gonna have that type of shopping.
Right. So is there anything about Mauritius that you dislike?
Unless you don't like to fly long. It's a flight to get there too. Yeah, I think it's 21 hours to get there. It's nothing I like. I would go back to Mauritius. So it is one of the countries I would definitely, repeat. So there's some countries like, one and done. I saw it.
Right.
Some that, okay, I'll come back to it and see what is it for again.
So out of all the countries that you could have made your 100th country, why Mauritius?
So Mauritius is one. People don't know the name. They don't even know where it's at. They don't even know and then, so my key was I wanted Africa, a country in Africa to be 100. That was number one. Number two, so originally I was going to do Madagascar because I just wanted to go there and sing the song, I like to move it. Move it. Like I wanted to do that, just do that, right?
Yeah.
And then I was looking like, Mauritius. And I looked it up. I saw this. It's funny because a lot of people don't know this. So on Windows, if you have an operating system Windows, you know how you have the screensavers in the back? It's like, whoa, where's that at? And you kind of click on it, it actually tell you where it's at. Mauritius is one of people's screensavers. They don't even know it.
They don't even know.
Mauritius is dope. It's one of those. I think I saw it as a screensaver. Like, where's this at? I looked it up. I didn't even know it was in Africa. I didn't know. I mean, it's an island off the coast, but it's part of Africa. So Mauritius is one of those, and it's people go there for their honeymoon too. Like avid travelers, they'll go to Mauritius. They don't have overwater bungalows, so I didn't make it like a honeymoon spot. But I made it to 100 country because it was one of those unknown spots. Not too many people have gone, and I wanted to bring awareness to it. I was like, hey, we've been to Mauritius. Like, oh, what's that? And they see the pictures and the video. Right now, I want to go too. So, and my brother, he never knew it. Like me, he didn't know where it was, what it was. I sent him pictures like, man, I'm about to make this my honeymoon. Like he had went to Hawaii for his honeymoon, and he was like, he calls Hawaii his honey, and he calls Mauritius his moon, which is funny because Hawaii H-M moon for Mauritius, so he calls the honey part Hawaii and the moon part Mauritius.
I like that.
Enjoyed it. We had a blast in Mauritius. Our video of Mauritius is crazy. Yeah, we had the whole. It was dope.
Now, what about the airline? I don't know if you remember. Do you remember the airline that you took going to Mauritius?
Yeah, so we used our Delta miles to go there. We five taxis. So we took Delta, and then it's when you stop off. It's Air Mauritius actually. So Air Mauritius is one of the part of the Star Alliance. So it was Delta and Air Mauritius is how.
Okay. All right, cool. So let me see. I know local transportation. How do folks get around? Is it trains, buses, taxis, Uber? How do folks get around there?
Walking? So they have drivers. They do have they have Uber now, but they taxis, drivers. Yeah, we did like a private car. You can rent a car. easy to drive there. I've driven probably about, I would probably 75% now of the 108 countries I've driven in. I'll just get a car and drive anywhere. As a matter of fact, did I have a car in Mauritius? I did have a car in Mauritius. I forgot. I had my brother there with me. We picked him up. We had a car. We rented a car and drove around. I told you that. I had my own car.
Do they drive on the right side or the left side?
Oh man, I feel like the steering wheel is on the right, but they drive on the left, or it's on the right and drive on the right. I can't remember. I feel like the steering wheel's on the right, not on the left. And I feel like they drive on the right and the steering wheel's on the right. Because I was like, damn, it's usually the opposite.
Right.
Like, in the UK is, it's on the right and you drive on the left. But I can't. I feel like I know the steering wheel was on. I feel like they drove on the right and the steering wheel. It's kind of like, but for me, it don't matter. I don't care if the steering wheel's in the middle. I drive everywhere. I drive on the left side of the road, right side of the road. It don't matter to me. So for me, that's why I never know. People are like, I don't know. I just follow traffic. It's on the left. It's on the left. I mean, I remember the very first time I got in the car, I was like, you by default you go to the left side of the car. I'm like, yo, where's the steering wheel? But after that, I'm used to it now. I feel like it's on the right.
That is crazy. That is crazy. So, did you say you only been there one time, or you been there a couple times now?
No, I've been to Mauritius once.
Once, okay. So is there anything that you would do differently if you were back in Mauritius?
Stay a little longer. That's it. I would stay a little longer, even though it's ironic. Is about a week is too long for me. We were there a little longer than a week. I would probably stay a little longer, maybe country hop a little bit. Probably hit Madagascar, kind of see it and come back. But Mauritius is, I'm sure we're probably going to take our daughter to Mauritius. There's a couple like Malta, Mauritius. There's a couple countries that we want to see again, and we enjoyed. Greece, and there's another one. So we with Santorini specifically, but we want to definitely repeat some of the countries that we enjoyed. Mauritius is definitely one of them. So cool. I would go back. That's pretty much what I would do. I would see it again. And probably, I think what I would do different is pretty much hit everything I did the first time. I wouldn't necessarily repeat what I did. I would hit something new or do it bigger. You know what? I bring my drone. That's what I would do. I had a drone for 3 years, man. I have not flown this thing once. And we were here in Mauritius, and this guy was flying a drone. And the first thing my wife goes, that could have been us. I was like, I would bring my drone because the landscape was dope. And I'm sure that view is phenomenal. So definitely bring the drone.
Yeah, bring the drone, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have to start wrapping it up. We're going to hit the gift shop, get some souvenirs and whatnot before we head on back. We do have a flight to catch. But Ronnie, before, as we're getting some gifts and whatnot, is there any last thing that you would like to cover or talk about in Mauritius before we head on back that we haven't covered just yet?
So I would say with Mauritius or any country, the biggest thing that I try to explain to people, learn the points mile system. We're talking like just your everyday spending that you do. Instead of putting on a debit card or using cash, use a travel card. You can rack up so many points a mile that people have no clue. People always think like, oh, I'm not traveling right now, so I'm not going to learn the system. That's not it. I have over 2,500 people signed up for my course. It's called the Tricks to Travel. The course is only, it was $20. It was $19.99. It's actually $10 right now for the rest of the year. Did a little promo, $10. It has 50 videos. I have 50 how-to videos where I pretty much show you step by step. The videos are like 10 to 15 minutes long each. Kept it short, so it's pinpointed and it teaches you step by step. 100% success and satisfaction rate. Everyone who takes my course loves it. It's just getting people to realize that they want to take the course because there's a wealth of information. We also have a follow-up group called the Tricks to Travel. It's for only our course takers. And I created the group purely to help people with follow-up questions. You're not in this alone. I have over 300 people in that group, and I don't know why we don't. It's a little offset. 2,500 people took the course. I just started the group in January, so I'm kind of like funneling the people, sending them emails like, hey, we got a group to help you. So in a group, I just tell people, learn the system. Even if you don't take my course, look it up online, figure something out. And there's a lot of, the thing about my course is it's all in one for you. It's easy to follow. Can you find some of the information? You can online, but you got to do a lot of searching. That was one thing that annoyed me when I started traveling was nobody was giving this information out. Like people tell you like, oh, you know, you go on websites that they talk about the points. They go, oh, you can go to Mauritius for 300,000 points. How do you earn 300,000 points? They don't tell you that part. Like, how do you earn it? And that's what I teach in the course. Like, I don't just tell you like where you can go. I show you how to get there, and how to get that. So I would recommend my course to anyone. I wish I would have had my own course when I started, because I would be at 195. Yeah. With this right now would be, you met Ronnie Dunstan, who's seen every single country, and not 108. Had I had my own course 5-6 years ago. So.
Yeah, I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, 108 countries. I keep saying that because y'all got to pay attention where he's dropping travel jewels, travel knowledge for y'all. Man, watch this podcast more than one time. Save it, like it, favorite it. Yeah, just keep this one in the archives. This is necessary to come back to. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do have to catch this flight back home. So as we are heading back home, Ronnie, we do have one last segment. It is called the lightning round. And in this round, I'm going to ask you a list of questions, and you are to answer them as quickly as possible. Quick, sense of urgency. So speed is our friend. and even to make it more interesting, you can only answer with one-word answers. So that'll make it even more interesting. Now, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Probably not, but let's go.
Let's get it. So question number 1, what is your favorite airline?
Delta.
What is your favorite hotel?
Hilton.
What is your favorite cruise line?
Royal Caribbean.
What is your favorite state?
California.
What is your favorite country?
Maldives.
What is your favorite hotel booking site?
I just booked straight Hilton direct.
What is your favorite flight booking site?
Everything is always direct with whatever airline, so Delta.
Gotcha. So what is one thing that Ronnie Dunstan must bring on all of his trips?
My camera, man. My camera.
Where do you want to go next?
I want to see Antarctica. 7 continents.
Nice. What other state would you live in?
California.
What other country would you live in?
Australia.
Last question. What is your favorite travel podcast?
I would say it's the Global Travel Podcast.
Good answer. Much appreciated. Thank you, Ronnie. Much appreciated for stopping by, showing some love, and dropping all the knowledge that you gave. Much appreciated, brother. Much appreciated.
All right, man. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. Yeah. It was fun. So.
Yes, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time of day it is. We have to get ready for landing. The plane is now descending. So I need you back into your seats, buckle up, trays up, and the seats in an upright position. But before we land, Ronnie, if you can do me a favor, if you can do us a favor, if you can give us one last piece of travel advice before we land, what would that be?
Take the tricks to travel.
Well said. Make sure y'all listen to this over and over and over. Take the class. I will put all the website on the screen, the description, so you guys can have access to it, so we can travel for free and have all the tricks and tips and all that good stuff, so we can hit 108. By the time we hit 108 countries, he's gonna hit all of them. But it's all right though. It's all right. He got a little head start on us. But ladies and gentlemen, we are now landed safely, thank God. So you can now unbuckle your seatbelts, grab your belongings, and exit the cabin. With that being said, thank you for flying here with us at the Global Travel Podcast, and see you guys on our next trip. If you would like to be a guest on our show and tell us about your travel experiences, then leave us a comment in the comment section below so we can reach out to you. Also, if you have any countries, states, or cities that you'd like us to review, please let us know so we can plan a trip there. Lastly, if you got some good value today and liked our podcast, please hit the like button and click subscribe so you can travel with us again next time. So subscribe right now because you don't want to miss the next trip. With that being said, over and out.